Shabbat Shalom. Today we heard a very good message from Mauricio. You know, the God gave us the Ten Commandments. It's very clear. Sadly, the other religions don't think that they're important anymore. They think that they're suggestions, but or they don't even consider them, or they may one or two, whatever. But we live in a world where being number one is the most important. It's Darwin's theory, the survival of the fittest. And that is absolutely opposite to what the Torah teaches, and especially in these Ten Commandments. You gave three excellent examples of that, Mauricio. And I'm hoping that people who heard you will read it again, because I'll be sending out the written portion as well to really consider, because the Ten Commandments are the foundation. They're the basis. They're our constitution. They're the covenant that God made with us. And the rest, everything that we read in Mishpatim, which give more of these mishpat, of these judgments, than any of the other portions. So here we're learning how to apply the Ten Commandments. And one of them is that you gave one example is a very clear example of you shall not steal. When you're stealing, you are saying, you know what, God, I don't trust you. I can provide for myself in any way I choose. And if I want something, I can go and take it, especially if you're strong and powerful, like that man with his BMW bribed the police, and then uh, and he lost. I mean, he took from somebody who had less than nothing. He had one truck. It reminded me of King David when was it Samuel, the prophet, or Nathan? Nathan, I think,
Yeah.
who said to him, this man had
Bills.
everything, and you had, and you have everything, and this man had one sheep, and you took away the sheep, and you killed the man. But King David recognized it. But here, this powerful man looks like he didn't recognize it, and it's so important. Um, we live in a world where it looks like the bullies are winning. You see what's going on in the Middle East with Hamas. They're bullies. They're teaching their children to be bullies and murderers and thieves, and they take their children. Their children are standing there watching this parade of the dead from Israel, and cheering. This is a very sick society, and the the Torah is teaching us the absolute opposite. And the one thing, which I'm sure you'll clarify again, and you clarified in your message, you know, I always thought that the way I am, and I think God makes us the way we are, from right from the beginning. My my habit is to always jump in and do first, and then I ask questions later. And it's in many ways it's gotten me into trouble. And yet, this is what God is telling us to do. It's like that man you said, if he had a flat tire and you remember that he's your enemy, and you start thinking, why should I go and help him? I hate this guy. Let him suffer for what he's doing. But that's not what God is saying. Go and act, go and help him, and think about it later. And then as you think about it, you'll start to see that just by helping him, he's becoming your friend. You've totally changed everything around. So you brought up some very excellent points in your message. Thank you, Mauricio.
God is um, sometimes in certain religions, or we do it ourselves, we make everything um, like not mystical or whatever. Like God is a practical God, and you made that very clear, Mauricio. He does intervene even in our small dealings with other people, because everything that we do is comes out of who we are, and our how we act before God, whether we believe in God or not. Every action, like um, not helping somebody in need, because we're too busy or we're too powerful, we don't deal with people like that kind of person or whatever, already we're breaking the commandments of God. We're breaking the very, not just it's not like a law when you cross a road on a red light or whatever. It has to do with our very core, how we treat other people. So it's so important, these very practical laws, because they're not just, if you do this you're going to have to pay money, and you won't uh, do it because you don't want to pay money. It goes below that. It has to do with loving your neighbor, as you said, as yourself, and it's very special. I remember when I first started reading the Torah, etc., and I saw some of these things, I'd skim through it, if an eye for an eye, if you kill somebody's donkey and you do this. And I said, gee, this is boring. I should just go to City Hall and get a list of the civil laws for the city. But it's beyond boring. It has a very, very, very deep message that runs through every aspect of our lives, you know? So thank you, Mauricio.
Yeah, for example, uh, it's it is very sad. For example, how Gaza, Hamas, they took these three kids, that the two kids and the mom, um, and they kidnapped them. Okay, that is, do not steal. Okay, and then they murder. Okay, them. Um, they were not really, soldiers. They
No,
were
and
civilians.
they weren't the only ones. If you look at right at the very beginning, there's a little 9 month old baby, Mila Cohen, on the first day was murdered right there in Israel. And then a 2 year old Omer Simantov was murdered with his 5 year old with his 5 year old sister. This happened on the very first day. These are murderers.
Yeah, and the point is, now the world had a problem. Okay, that war is to, uh, that they wanted the minorities to 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 take them to the society. Okay, and by doing so, they are destroying the rights of people. Okay, and the Torah is very clear about this. Look, the Torah, for example, and this is my example, for example, with the kids. Okay, we had at that time, like, like 8 years ago, we had a very great problem in the port. Obviously, it was not inside the port, was outside the port. Okay, on the road. These kids put some uh, barrels, or you know um, different uh, things that make it stop the trucks. Okay,
Okay.
reduce the speed. Then at that moment, the kids, I mean kids from 6 years old
Mm.
to kids to 17 years old, they used these kids because, according to the law, they were minors. Okay, so you cannot jail them, you cannot judge them. Okay, but the person who were behind the kids, they were very, the kids didn't make money. Okay, all they took was for someone else. Okay, and yes, they took 1 kilo, 2 kilos per truck. And you can say, oh, it's nothing. It's just, okay, uh, 2 kilos in 20,000, 25,000 kilos. So it's just a little thing. And the problem is that our laws says, oh, you know, they are minors, they are not thieving because what they are stealing is not more than $1,000,
Mm.
okay, per truck. But at the end, when you have 30,000 uh, or 45,000 trucks going to the port, so that's by 1 kilo, 3 kilos, whatever, it's a lot quite of money. Okay. And you can do that to rice, you can do that. And you start to think, okay, oh, this action that is something that is from kids, a kids play, okay. Then that money goes to the economy in your nation.
Right.
And what happened with a person who has who is renting a place to sell these products, and now he has a competence in the street, who is not paying taxes, who is not paying social security for the employees, who are not in the economy, who do not give money to municipality, etc. Okay, he start to have a competition that is not fair, because the other one takes the price for free. Okay, and then the kids start to learn it's better to steal than to work. It's
Mm.
better to have easy money than to go to school and study hard, okay, to make a better nation. And then the cycle start to destroy a nation, okay? Because these kids, right now, they are happy, giving them $1, $2, $3 per sack, okay? But the problem is, when he grows up, what will happen to that nation? In 20 years, this kid will like to kidnap, they will like to destroy persons. And then the problem is that these guys go to a public, um, positions, and then they destroy nations.
Right.
One example that I'm saying about these kids happened, for example, in IT. IT is a mess up nation. You can imagine the worst place in the world is IT. Okay. For far away. I have
Sorry,
been with,
what's the worst name?
Haiti. Haiti.
Oh, Haiti, right, okay.
this part of the island in during the French settlement. They were the richest country in whole America. Okay.
Wow.
And then today is the poorest,
Mhm.
more than Cuba, more than Venezuela. Okay.
Mm.
And I have been with people who has been there for job, okay, because they need to sell sugar, or and they said, okay, the port, you go, and then on the port they open all the containers, all the trucks and everything, just in front the birthing place, and they start to sell everything. They don't have infrastructure, they don't have buildings, they don't have warehouses, nothing. They don't have water, they don't have trees, they don't have nothing. It's just they survive, okay. And
Chaos.
it's a chaos. And then you start to go, and if you go to the hotel, they tell you, okay, at 8 p.m. you need to be at the hotel, because if not, you will not survive the night.
Wow.
Okay. And then who is ruling this place are the gangsters.
Right.
Okay. So when I telling you, in the Torah, it's not saying about, oh, you steal more than 1,000, then you need to be judged. No. The Torah says, do not steal. That's it. Okay. It doesn't put quantity.
Right.
Trained as humans to say, oh, it was only one, it was a candy. Okay. No. For that candy, you need to pay. Okay. Don't look that is something ethereal. Okay. In this standard, then the Torah start to say, okay, if you steal, then you have to pay for it. And look, the Torah doesn't say go to jail.
No.
Oh, what is saying the Torah? Okay, pay the twice price of what you of your what you if you still want candy, pay with two candies.
Right.
Okay, that is what is the Torah say. And if you don't have enough money, then you need to work. And with your work, you will pay what you stole,
Which makes sense.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because instead to go to jail to learn how to steal more,
Right.
you will learn how to work. And then you start to convince yourself, oh, I am better than a thief. I can do by my own the things. I can do by my own to get the money enough to pay for it. And eh, people do not understand what is the so powerful, okay, for a kid to understand that they have the capacity to do good. Sometimes we trying to say, um, no, 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 my kid, do not nothing, please. No, no, no.
Right.
Because so dangerous. No, the kid needs to discover that they are good to do things. Okay, when they had a hard work, then they will capacitate, and they start to think, hey, I can do it. You know, that is something that changes the mind of your kids, of our kids. Okay, and then the Torah is very wise.
Mm.
Why the Torah that start not to say act? Why the Torah tell us act and then obey? Obey means that you need to think. Okay, obey is an act.
Obey. Obey with a B.
Obey with a B. Yeah. To obey, you need to think because it's your will that is between. Okay. To act is something natural. For example, if I'm thirsty, I take my bottle and I start to drink. I don't have to think about to take my bottle and drink something. Okay.
It's
Okay.
instinctive.
It's instinctive. When you teach your kids the Torah is instinctive. You act first and then you will obey. For example, if he wants a candy, he will go to the supermarket and then he shall not take the candy, even though I said we won't buy that. Okay. He he start to act and say, no, I don't have to do it. Okay. It's instinctive.
Right.
But let us suppose he start to obey. Okay. When he wants to obey, he start to think, I really want the candy. Okay. Oh, how precious is the paper. Okay. And it looks very sweet. Okay. I would like to taste just a little. And it's just only one. It's not a big deal. I mean, I won't go to jail because I took one candy. Okay. and he took one. And probably he is in the supermarket eating the candy,
Mhm.
and the parents doesn't even know that he took one candy. Okay, and so the problem is that you start to think, and what happened with think things. Remember Adam and Hava, okay, at the beginning. What for Adams, he said, God tell us not to, and what the serpent did. Oh, you don't see that you will be like gods. And he started to think what happened with the obedience. They at the end they disobey because our mind is so powerful, and sometimes we twist the things to make it better than when they are not better, they are
Which is
worse.
what the serpent said. Did God really say you shouldn't eat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that candy, and so um and obviously we God wants that we think about what we do.
Right.
That the principle is there. For example, today it says that in this portion, if you make a hole, then you need to put something to
Put a
warn
fence
people,
around.
the defense around, to say,
Mm.
hey, I don't know if in your countries, but in my country, there are some steel companies that they just buy uh, things, uh, steel, no matter what is the origin of that steel. Okay. For example, you take a car and they destroy the car just to take the steel and process. Okay. So these factories got a great problem because, on the roads, when you need to I don't know how to say that in English, but is like a defender that is on the road, and you take this out and you go into the different to open or to close different um, tubes it's the word, no, uh when the water runs, okay.
Pipes?
So yeah, pipes, yeah. And but you need to take this is from iron, okay. We say tapadera in Spanish. I don't know how to say that in English right now,
I'll look it
but
up.
uh is let me um okay, tapadera is a cover, is a pot lid, is like something like that. Okay, it's like a lid that is on the road. Okay, that that
Okay.
that you take out and then you can open or close pipes lines. Okay,
Okay.
That's
so
on the road, sewer pipes? No, the covering of a sewer.
Right.
There's a name
yeah,
for that.
Yeah, they have a cover.
Oh,
yeah, so
Yeah.
it,
Protects you from falling into the hole.
yeah.
yeah. So in this country, in all Central America, I think also in Mexico and in Colombia and all these places, take these covers because they take to the factories and they process as an iron or a steel or whatever.
So
Okay,
they leave the holes open.
so they leave that hole open. Okay, when you go in your car,
Oh,
what happened? Blah,
yeah,
an explosion of your tire.
of
Okay,
course.
there are so many people that when there are a flood, okay, heavy rain place with motos, they have gone in those holes,
Oh my
you know,
goodness.
and you start to think, okay, what is the principle? What the Torah says, okay, you make a hole, then you need to cover up.
Right.
Okay. That's it. Something very simple. Okay. What is the principle? Life, life, life. Okay. Do not make actions that destroy life. Okay. So but in the Torah is written, the people will say, oh, but these covers didn't exist at the time of the Torah. Yeah, but the principle is the very same. So we extract the principles of this portion, and then you will have a treasure of life. Sometimes people come to me and they start to ask me some questions that I do not have any answer technically. Okay.
Right.
But what I do, I remember the Torah commandments, I remember the Mishpat, and then I start to say, oh, this is like this kind of principle.
Right.
Okay. So I apply the principle into the for example, oh, Mauricio, I am the person who who is responsible to buy many products for the meals. Okay. When people goes and tell me in a very sweet and very kind and proper, uh, I would say, invitation, they said, "Oh, Mr. Mauricio, we want to take you a lunch." Okay. And you know that the very first thing, oh, there is no lunch for free. Okay. Something he might have behind. Okay. So and then very polite way, I have to tell you, I said, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much because you are inviting me to for a lunch. But honestly, I have a lot of work to do, and I don't want to make you wait, and things like that. And then erase the problem. Okay. But why I do that? Because the Torah says, do not accept bribery. If you accept bribery, for example, it's not money what they are giving me. They are giving me a lunch.
Right.
Okay. But behind that lunch, they obviously want to tell me, oh, we want to discuss this with you. We want to raise up the price. We want to change the quality and things like that. And always that I go to negotiate, I negotiate with all the whole group, okay, behind me.
Right.
I don't want to have negotiations with people one to one, okay.
Right.
I'm always with another person with me. Why? Because it's the principle what I'm practicing, okay. If I go along with that person for lunch, imagine if he makes $1,000 in the sale, he could offer me 1,000. Okay. The problem is, oh, do I expose myself to that situation or not? So I rather to say no. And the people understand, oh, Mauricio doesn't like to go to lunch. Okay. I rather they think about that. But the point is the very principle of Torah. Do not accept bribery. And do not put yourself in a position that could lead you to that point. Okay. Right?
Yeah, you
So
need, in the presence of 2 and 3 witnesses, you need other people. Exactly.
so when I go, for example, with a mayor, with a politician, I'm not going alone. I'm going always with a person. People must think, oh, you have a problem. You need to have someone else. Even Moses did not go alone to Paro.
That's right.
Imagine if
No.
Moses Paro, and Paro would say, "Oh, Moses, I will give you two pyramids for you." Okay, I don't know. You don't know nothing, right?
Yeah.
So rather to be with Aaron, and I think if he start to tell, uh, Moshe, would you like to dinner today? Um, he will look to Moses, Aaron, and put some faces and understand Moshe. Oh no, this is not good. So it's a shield for you.
Right.
Okay. So this is the principle. Everything is principle. So extract the principle and put it in practice.
Right. How do you talk to your children about these principles?
Yes,
Yeah.
I talk. I talk every day because uh, for example, things that I'm telling them. Okay, Santi just have a girlfriend, for example. He got a girlfriend, and what I tell him, okay, Santi, respect. That is the basis. Respect. Okay. Do not be alone with a girl. Respect. Always in light. Always. So it's the principle.
Right. Because
I
the consequences are very big.
The consequences are very big. Okay. So principle is always leading you because when you have this principle in your life and it's like instinct, you act, then you do not expose yourself to something worse. Okay. Believe me, for example, El Chapo Guzman. Do you think El Chapo Guzman start like a drug dealer, the worst drug dealer in Mexico in one day?
I didn't understand what you said. A who? Chapo?
Chapo Guzman, you know who is Chapo Guzman?
Chapo Guzman.
Yeah. Okay, this Chapo Guzman is a dealer of drugs in
Okay.
Mexico.
Yeah. Okay.
He was
Was
in Mexico. He
Where is he
was in
now?
Mexico. He's in
Where is he?
Colorado now.
Oh no.
No, I mean he's in a maximum security prison in Colorado.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
now this Chapo Guzman, okay, he wasn't Chapo Guzman in one day.
No.
He is product of a process of life.
Right.
How he started, probably stealing a candy. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the same process. It's the same process as if you see kids who are killing frogs or killing a little animal. Later on, they'll murder people. Yes, Richard.
Yeah, well, I just want to talk about bribery for a second. Okay? I didn't know what the Torah was actually talking about when it talks about what we talk about bribery. In some countries, bribery is part of business. Okay, okay. So here's the thing: in the United States and probably other countries, we can't take tax deductions for payments for bribery. Okay, but in some countries they do have bribery. So the tax law here, at least in the United States, has it that some bribery payments to other um, come in other countries are tax deductible. You know, so so I don't know what they. I'm assuming that bribery in the Torah has a real stigma to it. It has more of a wrongness to it than we might suspect. So, so that's all. Plus, about El Chapo, um, there was a picture of him taking his kids to Disney World in it's either Disney World or or on some vacation about 30 years ago. So he was also a family man in a way. So Okay, I'll just stop talking now.
But basically what you're saying, it begins as a child. It's like if a child cheats in school and is caught and they fail that course, the and the parents of that child is rich, and they go to the teacher and say, "Look, we're going to donate this much money to the school if you'll pass my child." What is that child learning? It's going to be later on. It'll still it'll he'll he's not learning anything from the Torah. He's learning to steal later on from in a bigger way. Sarai, do you have a question?
Sí, sí, estuve escuchando algo, ya saben, entiendo bien poquito, espero me puedan ayudar a traducir.
Yep.
Bueno,
Okay,
estamos
that she has a question and she wants that we help to translate her.
se está viendo un conflicto serio entre México y Estados Unidos por la cuestión del fentanilo. Y ha habido escasez de trabajo, que eso es algo muy difícil para el país, ¿no? Porque la mayoría no tiene la educación universitaria, entonces son llevados a esas cosas feas que es robar, sobornos y tantas cosas.
Okay.
Translate so it doesn't get too long.
That's that right now, U.S. and Mexico are between a war, okay, in a commercial war. Right now, this situation made that had many losses of job in Mexico, and Mexicans do not have enough education for better work, better employees. And this is for the fentanyl.
Fentanyl?
Fentanyl, yeah, it's a drug. Okay,
The drug, fentanyl?
because of the drug, it's the
Right.
very same as Canada that he say, oh, we are receiving many drugs from Canada. Okay.
Right.
Sí, ok. Entonces, aquí se dicen muchas cosas que China está en confabulación con los narcos, la gente mala que está haciendo esto.
Okay, and in here, they're saying that China is working with narcos, okay, in Mexico to create this situation.
Esto es una cuestión que está afectando a México, mi querido país, que pues tiene también cosas buenas para mí, pero pues existe esto feo que pues tampoco me agrada.
Okay, and this situation brings some consequences to Mexico that has very good things and have very bad things like this. Okay, Mexico.
Sin embargo, aquí yo le pido al Eterno que haya un común acuerdo de los dos países, porque se especulan muchas cosas, que puede ser una guerra contra México debido a esta situación. Entonces,
Okay. And she is asking to pray for this situation because in Mexico seems that is a war, okay, to Mexicans. But this situation is not about Mexicans, it's about drugs, right?
y pues eso sería muy devastador para el país, porque el país tiene historia de muchas cosas, ¿verdad? Que fueron sometidos por los españoles y por muchos otros que intentaron pues someterlos y quitarles su estatus de país, ¿no?
Okay. And this could be this work will be to devastate Mexico, because Mexico has an story. They have awards and losing everything. Okay, in the past. I mean, because, for example, they were conquered by the Spanish and other people also in the past. So right now, it's affecting Mexico.
Israel ha tenido muchos gobernantes que no los han ayudado a mejorar la situación, porque es un país con muchas riquezas en varios ámbitos. Apenas en estos 2 sexenios se está viendo algo que está mejorando, pero si hubieran hecho eso desde el primer presidente, como lo hicieron en otros países, la historia sería diferente.
Okay. And she says that, o sea, tú quisieras decir que ahí me perdí un poco. Israel
No,
ahora.
no. Estaba hablando que los presidentes en la historia que estuvieron, desde el primer presidente que estuvo aquí en México,
Okay.
y fue Cárdenas y los demás, no hicieron más que tener
Okay.
el dinero para ellos. Sí,
Robbing people. They have been killing people.
Ujú. Entonces, el país lo despojaron y apenas se está viendo que lo que hizo López Obrador, que él es una persona cristiana, es primo del Señor Jesús.
Oh,
Sí.
okay.
Entonces, es una persona que buscaba de Dios siempre y que amaba al país para mejorarlo. Se dijo muchas cosas negativas de él, pero al final, pues, no fue de eso que iba a suceder lo mismo que le pasó a Venezuela o a Cuba. Y
Okay. And then came López Obrador, who was the last president before Sheinbaum. And he was a very good man with very good desire to develop in Mexico. And he was a very good Christian, and he looked the best for Mexico.
sí, y pues yo humildemente digo, hay cosas buenas en mi país, México, pero también
Yeah.
está esta parte opuesta, esta parte que no es agradable. Y
Good things in Mexico, and unfortunately, there are also bad things like selling fentanyl, or selling drugs to other parts of the world. Okay.
a mí me preocupa porque yo tengo aún ahí a mi hijo en México
Or their son in Mexico.
y mi madre también está ahí. Ahora, no sé si no sé si es un mero pretexto de Donald Trump con esto del fentanilo para iniciar algo allá en México, porque Colombia tiene la producción de la mejor marihuana y la cocaína. Y están también los grandes narcotraficantes, que fue Pablo Escobar y Gilberto Rodríguez Orihuela, que fueron los más grandes enfocados también en esa parte. Pero ahorita el foco de atención es México. Y eso es algo que me da tristeza.
Wait, Sarah.
Ujú.
Mauricio?
Okay. Yes. She says basically that she doesn't know exactly what is Donald Trump thinking. Okay. Because if for drugs, Colombia have more production of drugs, okay, they have a worst drug dealers like Pablo Escobar and other men. So nobody knows exactly what is behind. Okay, she's worried because her son is there, her mom is there, families are there.
So
Mhm.
what is she asking?
So, a lo que quisiera llegar.
Que pues ya hemos visto muchas cosas difíciles en el mundo, de guerras, Ucrania con Rusia, Venezuela con este hombre malvado también que ahora sí que secó el país, lo dejó en bancarrota, algo tan terrible. Y ahorita esta situación que está pasando es algo que a mí me preocupa, que Israel, bendito Israel, que está pasando también allá con las personas que secuestraron, con los bombardeos, con tantas cosas. Y ahorita esto, pues, es otras cosas que se podría dar, ¿no? Y es algo que a mí me pone a pensar, qué difíciles son las cosas, los puntos de acuerdo que tienen los líderes de varios lugares. Porque cada quien quiere tener su razón.
Is she asking what the Torah says about these things or what the Bible says about all this that's going on?
Now,
Because she's talking about the different leaders in the world, like in Venezuela. There's so much corruption and there's so much terrible.
there's so much corruption, and right now could raise up something worse for Mexico. And now she's worried about that because there are many conflicts in the world: Ukraine, Israel, Venezuela, and this is just another one right now. And it seems that it's endless. Okay, the conflicts.
Yeah, but if we look at what the scriptures say, it's not endless. We're just in the middle of another birth pain.
Dice Peggy que realmente no es algo interminable, esto es realmente son los dolores de parto.
And God is in control.
Dios es
And
en control.
I mean, our country here too, even in Canada, has gone through some terrible changes with the government, where a lot of people are hurting as well. It's not as bad as Mexico, obviously, but there are people in the streets, a lot of homeless, a lot of drug addicts.
Y en Canadá están sufriendo esto, tal vez no es la situación no es tan complicada como en México, pero pero hay un montón de gente en la calle, sin casa, drogadictos y la misma situación tensa de México con Estados Unidos.
So we ask, what is it that we can do? We're so small. What can you, Sari, and you, Mauricio, you, Miriam, what can I do? Richard, those of us who are part of this little community, what can we do to help change this situation in the world? We're certainly not in a position like Donald Trump.
Sí. Ok, dice que qué es lo que podemos hacer como una pequeña comunidad, todos los que estamos aquí presentes, contra personas poderosas como Donald Trump o contra estas situaciones que están fuera de control, digamos, ¿verdad?
Fíjate que mi esposo me dijo esto, Mauricio, que acá dicen en las noticias que México va a ser el país, la estrella 51 y Canadá la 52. Entonces, porque Canadá tiene una deuda grande con Estados Unidos. Entonces dices tú, mira nada más, ya cuántos países ha tenido, se llevó territorio de México.
Mauricio, could you translate, please?
Yeah, because what he's saying that they are believing that her husband told her that probably Mexico and Canada will be absorbed by United States, like a new part of the country of the United States. I don't think so, but because it's a very huge
I don't
country.
think we need to spend time worrying about that.
Ajá, considera que no deberíamos de preocuparnos por eso, Peggy.
Sí,
We can't worry about the future. All we could do is take care of ourselves in the present, and that's why it's so important for us as people of God to study the Torah and see that the principles of life are that whoever is in our circle, that we live those principles, and that will bring more light to the world.
Remember what Yeshua said? Well, in the Old English, but sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof.
Yeah.
Go,
Let Mauricio translate for
yeah,
her.
but I want to change. It's let's not keep it in that Old English. Don't. What? How would you say? Like it's sufficient to spend. Just go day by day. Don't worry about the next day.
Yeah.
Remember, how would you translate sufficient unto the day is
Is the tourist they're in.
Surest thereof.
Yeah, yeah.
Ok, no, lo que ellos te dicen es, well, no nos podemos preocupar por este tipo de cosas, pues primero están fuera de nuestras manos, pero
sí,
lo que sí podemos hacer es preocuparnos por los nuestros y por nosotros, de vivir una vida correcta, sana, y eso va a ser como un escudo para nosotros, no importa la situación externa. Y lo que decía Miriam es, lo que dijo Yeshua, es, preocúpate por el día. Ve, suficiente estrés tiene un día,
sí.
¿verdad? Para,
Remember when we were slaves in Egypt and Moses came to take us out, we were in a place called Goshen. We were safe. No, I'm sorry. When we were in Egypt, God put us in Goshen in a place of safety while and when the plague started to hit, God protected those in Goshen. So our Goshen is our spiritual relationship with God. And even if Brian and your mother are in Mexico, if they are living a righteous life, God will find a way to protect them.
ya. Ok, lo que dice es que cuando Joseph estuvo en Egipto, Dios los puso a todos los israelitas en la tierra de Goshen. Y Goshen es como vivir en la presencia de Dios, aunque estés en Egipto. Tu mamá y tu hijo allá en México, si ellos viven bajo los principios de la Torá, va a ser como un Goshen, van a estar protegidos por el Eterno. Ok.
I Yes, because I see even in my own life, because I had lost everything, and I watch how God provides in ways that are miracles, just miracles, in ways I never would have imagined.
Sí, que ella ha visto cómo Dios provee a ella en diferentes momentos cuando ha perdido todo y de manera milagrosa. Así que,
Bendito,
ya,
Baruch Hashem.
Yeah, just always keep our eyes focused up, not down. Don't look to man, look to God. It's the only thing we can do.
abajo, es lo que podemos hacer.
Así es.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
De nada. And that's why it's so important in this little community that we communicate with each other, help to build each other up, to because we're all tempted, we're all tested, even in little ways. You talked about stealing a candy. You know, I got into the elevator the other day and I looked down, and there's somebody lost a tweezer for the eyebrows. And I picked it up and I took it upstairs because I use them, but I have a good one. And then I'm saying, somebody lost their tweezer. Why would I keep it? I brought it back downstairs and I put it on the counter, and somebody took it, but it wasn't mine. We always have to think, and it's not that we're going to fail, because we do. We're human, but we have to change, in that moment and say, no, this doesn't belong to me. So the Torah is it gives us the principles like you were talking about, Mauricio. It's not a religious book. You know, when I say I believe in the Torah, people think, oh, you're religious. It's not a religious book. It's a book about principles, and not just for the Hebrews, but for all the people in the world. I had this almost like a flash or this morning when I was thinking about Israel. Israel is the shepherd, supposed to be the shepherd, and the world are the sheep. And we are to lead them in the right way. And if we're not leading, Israel is not leading in the right way, the whole world is going to suffer. And that's exactly what Sari's talking about, the suffering that's going on in the world, because Israel is not doing their role. We are not living up to our role. I don't know if you want to translate that for her.
Lo que está diciendo que al final la Torá no es un libro religioso, de hecho ya le dicen, tú eres religiosa, pero no se trata de la vida. Si nosotros mantenemos la vida de la Torá, realmente vamos a cumplir nuestro rol dentro de la vida, ¿no? De diaria, y vamos a estar obviamente protegidos también. O sea, es decir, practicando, obviamente. Si Israel no cumple ese rol, ¿qué es lo que va a suceder? Todo lo que está pasando. Porque si Israel se eleva, el mundo también se va a elevar.
And that will happen one day, because if we look at the story of Egypt as the formula, then we're going to see that the plagues keep hitting this planet until not only did the world see our God, but Israel itself. We have to see our own God. I have many Jewish friends who don't believe in God. And what makes them a Jew? Just because they're born a Jew? Doesn't mean anything. It's how do we follow our God? And one day we will all see, and it's not going to be up to us, it's going to be up to Him. The plagues will keep hitting until we get it.
Ya, ok, y lo que dice que mucha gente puede vivir como judío o lo que sea, pero no es por nacimiento, es porque tiene una relación con el Eterno. Y eso es lo que realmente nos vale al final del día. Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mauricio. Thank you for bringing the message. You have a real gift as a teacher. I can see that. And it's almost easier. Sometimes I watch Rabbi Percy when he gives a message, and he just brings points and he just speaks. And you're very good at that. It's almost easier for you to just do the points and just speak your message. Easier almost even than reading it. I don't know if I have that gift. I'm almost afraid to find out, because I'll go off track, or sometimes I can't find the words. But again, thank you. Your message was excellent. So I want to wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom. Have a wonderful day, the rest of the day, and God willing, we'll see you next week for your tertulia on Tuesday night. I wish you had more people coming. It'd be wonderful if some of the Spanish people would invite others to join you, because your teaching is wonderful. And on Wednesday night we do it in English, and all we can do is just keep living for God. Period.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shalom, Papa
Shabbat
Nimon.
shalom.
Y buena semana.
Bye.
Bye.